My name is Nicole Brewer, and I've been here on and off for about 8.5, 9 years now. I've had to leave due to 2 deaths in the family. Both my mother and my father passed. My father was the most recent. My brother's now suffering in Alamogordo in Las Cruces, New Mexico. He's fallen back into meth because my parents died. I spent some time there trying to help him save himself, but I lost him, and people hadn't seen him in a week after a guy who threatened to kill him, named John, who offered me a motorhome, had taken him for a ride. I left my ex there and I came back here because my ex was abusive. And since I've been here, I've noticed that there's a lot of bad things going on with us homeless people on the streets. We're being bought and sold.
What do you mean by that?
People are paying people to have sex with us if we turn them down. And they're doing it with drugs in our sleep. They have this stuff called Spice that used to be on the shelves, and then when it was taken off the shelves, it became much more dangerous. And they began putting drugs in the Spice. I had to get to know the dealers to find out, because I became addicted to the Spice years ago. For about 3 months, trying to keep up with my boyfriend so he wouldn't sleep around. I decided to get high with him because I said, well, Dad always said if you can't beat him, join him. So I did, and I found things not to be exactly what I thought they were. They're not selling what you used to get off the shelves. It's much worse. They're putting fentanyl and all kinds of different things in it. They're even using anything they can liquefy and spray on, including the stuff they call black. That's heroin. They're putting heroin in it, and we all know that people who do heroin pass out and stay out for a long time and then come back.
I didn't realize that it was so dangerous.
They're putting stuff on there and they're blowing it in our faces. We're waking up like I did with bruises between our thighs and not knowing where they come from.
So
And then they're getting mad at us. Some of these people on the streets are collecting enough money, some of the men, to pay for it. And then they're getting mad at us when they come to us in our waking hour after they've gone crazy on drugs and think that they can have whatever they've taken.
So
and they're coming at us and they're beating on us and they're paying others to beat on us.
So
and they're threatening us before they have it done.
Where does this happen?
All over Denver. I've had it happen on 16th Street Mall. I had it when it happened to me this last time I got attacked. I was threatened before I was attacked. I was threatened. Someone told me they were going to pay someone to whoop my ass because I wouldn't give them any pussy. And that was their exact words.
And this was recent?
Yes, this was 3 days ago.
So where do you sleep at night?
Right now I'm in a hotel until tomorrow.
And
The hospital put me there because I had thorns and things, and I had a black eye. It's getting better.
oh gosh,
And this is
yeah.
busted.
And this is from 3 nights
The
ago?
bone is busted. I can feel it. It's like, look, it's
So
right
what-
here is busted. Right here is busted, and right here is kind of cracked on this bone. And then the crack here is going all the way down my face. And when I'm going, I'm spitting out, you see a little minute amount of blood. And they haven't x-rayed my head or my neck yet, but I was choked, I was strangled. This happened on Colfax and High, and the fellow who did this to me stated that he was a manager at the hotel there because I wouldn't remove my belongings quick enough, being handicapped this way, and I went through a windshield at 18. I'm mentally disabled too. So I've done everything I can to educate myself and make myself not a target. I came here with the intent to find out what was going on with the homeless, what they needed, and how I could help, because I don't have much of a life except whenever I decide to get involved with things in society and help. I also wanted to march in the All Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter parade. I got to do that in the very front, even though my wheel fell off and I had only socks on my feet and my little chihuahua in my cart. I held it up on 3 wheels and I still marched all the way up front. I love life and I love myself and I love my country. A lot of bad things are happening and a lot of good people are doing a lot of bad things because they have no choice out here. I can hope and pray that God can forgive them their trespasses. But the only thing that I can do for the people out here is advocate that they need places without discrimination. They're discriminating. They're picking and choosing who they want to have help, who they do and don't want in the establishment, how they do not want you to act as an individual, whether or not they want you to have a voice. And if they can't silence your voice, they'll pay somebody to take your life. I pray to God that our words don't fall on deaf ears. I pray to God that you know that we are educated people out here. Some of us who are intent were to start a business and get off of a disability check because they want better for themselves and their children in life than to think you should just settle for whatever life gives you. My father was blackmailed until he was dead by my sister Diana. He was blackmailed. She used her children. He could not see his children, his grandchildren, unless he did as she wanted. He even signed over medical power of attorney. 3 days after he got out of Guthrie Hospital in Bath, New York, 3 days later, he died. My sister was the one administering the morphine. He died in his bed at home. I don't even think a toxicology report was done. I didn't get to see my father before he passed due to COVID. I still feel like there's a purpose for me on this earth, and there's a lot of people who need help. They need mailboxes. They need safe places to sleep. They need people who care enough about them not to walk by and give them $1 or nothing and say they get plenty. I've had days out here that I've sat with my baby, and me and her have only made $2. How is $2 supposed to feed my little baby Chihuahua and me? This is my service animal, and I love her as much as I love my children. I don't want to see anything bad happen to either one of us. But if we're not given enough by our government to support ourselves, and we can't do it on our own, people treat us like we're frauds and fakes, and then they try to force us to do things we don't want to do. And when we fight back, we're the bad guys, because we're not in the businesses, and we're not owning them, and we're not managing them. And we're an eyesore, according to Lukash, the director. He said that the neighbors said we were an eyesore, so we couldn't sit on the sidewalks in front of the homeless day shelter. We weren't permitted to do that because we're an eyesore. We couldn't come in either because they were doing things. And if we want an outfit of clothing from the establishments, we have to work for them. Only on Sundays do we get free things when the kind people who come out here and feed us come out here and feed us. Otherwise, we have to work. And the welfare tells us that panhandling is work. So whether we make $2 or $20, we're looked at as though we're vagabonds and slackers and derelicts. Half of the people out here are on drugs, never meant to be on drugs. They're on them. I've talked to them. They're on them because they had to stay awake. Otherwise, they're either raped, beaten, or robbed in their sleep. And it's true because I've had it all happen to me. I have a thyroid disorder. I'm dying. I won't medicate because they don't have anything in marijuana that fixes a thyroid disorder, and they don't have anything in a pill that fixes it. Only a Band-Aid to make me feel better while I die, and that way the rest of society doesn't have to put up with the vulgarity of my anger due to the fact that I'm dying and the uncontrollable mood swings caused by the thyroid disorder. It's hypothyroidism. They started me on 50 mcgs of levothyroxine. I took it for 30 days. I quit unintentionally. I couldn't get a ride. And when I couldn't get a ride to the pharmacy and I was out in the country, my lungs stopped working and I didn't know what was going on. And I started to get tingly and numb in the face, and I'm like, what's going on? And I go, I'm not breathing. And then I read the pamphlet I hadn't read before I took the medication, and it could cause total organ failure should you, for any reason, including the pharmacy, be on back order, not be able to take your medicine. And after 90 days, it could result in total organ failure. That's death. I said I wanted some music that was deaf. I never said I wanted death. And I'm not willing to lay down and die out here. And I don't feel that any of my brothers and sisters out here are. They're all my brothers and sisters because we're all homeless together. And you know what? I don't think we're homeless. We're just houseless. We got each other, and that makes it a home. I just wish that they'd give more so that they didn't have to take from each other, because it's very sad. And people aren't giving enough. They think they are, but they're not. They're giving to organizations. Those are businesses that get huge tax cuts at the end of the year for doing this. They hate us. And they pick and choose favorites, and sometimes that's because the favorites are having sex with them. So please help us, not them. We need you. We're America too. And we have children who are the future of this country too. We're trying to be here for you and advocate your rights for freedom. Please try to be here for us because we love you and we hope that you give us as much as we're giving, and we're out here on the streets every day giving our whole lives. The only time some of us get indoors is if we are hurt and they put us in for hospice reasons. That means that we can't get out here and do what everybody else can, so we have to be laid up in a hotel for 2 to 3 days. And every time a new family moves into town with a child, we're bumped back again another space in line. I'm seeing people that have taken 9 years, but they're in the YMCA, the old YMCA building. They're smoking more meth and crack than the people on the streets. But because they're in a program, that's okay and they can be indoors. Those of us who don't have addictions don't get to be indoors. I do, but they don't have one for nicotine. They don't have one for caffeine or sugar. So, anything helps. Please, if it's just pocket change, a few cigarettes, stop and drop a bottle of weed. Some of us need that to get by. It's at least legal. I really don't want a beer, especially this time of year. Thinning your blood's not the best thing to do in the cold. And we're dropping close to 20 degrees at night. So if we weren't healthy, we wouldn't still be able to be out here. I got choked and beat. And the cops came out and acted like nothing happened to me and I just attacked somebody. People know me. I'm 42 years old. The only kind of records I've ever had, I was acquitted of, and they were only less than misdemeanors and misdemeanors because my ex was beating me. And then they found out the state he came with me from. He beat women there too, not just me. And he's under investigation for running a sex slave trade organization with some other people working involved in it. He was setting up the houses, putting the girls in them. He admitted to me 17 of them. I won't say his name, but I will say he's in Alamogordo in Las Cruces, New Mexico. And the woman that took him from me can have him. I gave him to her. I told her, no need to fight, honey. You can have him. I'm leaving. I finally got my freedom. I probably won't ever get my justice. But I'm praying to God someday y'all make it right so that my children do should something happen to them. I have 4 children that I've birthed and 5 if you include Anthony Kyle Joseph France. I love him too, just like he's my own son. He said I'm his mom. He disowned his mother and father. I helped raise him when he was a small one. His father is the father of my youngest 2 children. He wasn't a good guy. Gene Poole was good. Man wasn't so good. But people only do what they can, I guess, in this life.
Can you tell us a little bit about your dog before we say goodbye to you?
Yeah, this is Honey.
Honey is super sweet. I gave her a little,
Yeah, she is.
Earlier. How long have you had Honey?
I've had Honey since she was 8 weeks old.
8 weeks? How old is Honey?
Honey's 9 months old.
Oh my gosh, she looks so, look, she loves you. And where did you get Honey?
I got her from a lady who was a backyard breeder on Craigslist in Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Oh, so how long have you been here in Denver?
Almost 3 months this time. My mother and father died, so I just made it back.
I see, okay. Well, do we have questions, Adam?
I can say statistically speaking, 90 to 95% of the people on the streets are on hardcore drugs, and they weren't before they got here. Before they ended up in the homeless situation, they weren't. I can say about 40% or better of the people are selling their selves sexually, and they weren't. Not all of them were before they got there.
This is both men and
This
women?
is all both men and women, and they're selling them. Straight men are selling themselves to women and men. They're calling it gay for pay. It was part of the problem I had with my ex. And for some people that happens, but for those of us covered in tattoos and judged before we even get a chance to be ourselves, that are going through a lot of traumatic things. We're doing the footwork of 10 men. We're going to every organization 3 to 5 times. In each organization, there's somebody who's discriminatory, finding a way to kick us out of the system. Every single time. Like, for example, I've gone to Lukash and his establishment over on Curtis Street. No, it's not on Curtis. It's on,
Stout?
what's that? Yeah, Stout. No, wait, that's Stout Street Clinic. And Curtis, there's
Glenarm?
it's the one that's called the, what is it, guys? Anyway, his name is Lukash. He's the director of one of the programs here. I went in, I got an appointment. In this building, we have a few things that are available to us. Like over here would be the little welfare department where you can go and get your food stamps and such. And then over here is a directory room where they'll direct you to the different organizations and things that you need. And then over here is an office where you can go in and you can actually fill out your paperwork and they'll help you. Unfortunately, they do everything they can to stop you at the door. I made an appointment to go in and talk to the lady about getting on food stamps. The lady at the desk told me, wait out front and I'll come out and get you because we're cleaning in here, we're sterilizing. I'm like, okay. So I'm standing out there waiting and one guy walks up to me and says, hey, want to smoke some pot? And the other guy's like, yeah, let's smoke some pot with her. And I'm like, that'd be cool. I don't mind smoking some pot with you. I came to Denver so I don't have to look over my shoulder while I smoke pot. I've been a pro-hemp activist since age 18. I've seen Tommy Chong live at a hemp aid and the roach roast I've gone to in years past. So, you know, that's my thing. I love my pot. If it were a man, I'd marry it. At least it's loyal. It's always there.
I like my pot too. No joke.
Yeah. So
anyway.
I sit down and we begin to partake with smoking pot. And Lukash comes out and comes right at us. And he's like, get the hell off of the sidewalk right now or I am going to ban you for the day. And I'm like, excuse me. I have every right to be here. I'm homeless. And he said, he circled around, and I started picking things up and putting them in there, and he's like, I don't see you moving. I said, go now or you're banned. And I said, I was told to wait here. He said, I am in charge. I said, go now. You go around the corner and wait over there. And I'm like thinking to myself, and he took off, stomped off. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I have an appointment. I'll miss my appointment. That guy's an idiot. The director should be talking to the people who are staff before he comes out and begins to yell at people. And then he accused me of doing dope. He says, you won't be doing your dope over here.
Well, you were smoking pot.
Well,
anyway,
pot ain't dope.
We need to go because
Especially when
Molly's
the
been
doctors
waiting.
approved it medicinally.
Yes, I know, I'm sorry. But just by the interest of time, but thank you so much for telling your story. I wish you the best of luck. I want to give you a little extra.